Previously on Chosen Ones, Theo asks Avayath for advice about accepting his fate as a potential Chosen One. Meanwhile, Brandy talks to Shui about relearning how to play the lute. The Sparks all meet back up at the church shortly after lunch to begin Peter's final, Arthur introducing them all to the astral golem, before Riddle volunteers to go first. The Tabaxi quickly regrets this decision as the golem turns into thousands of spiders and swarms him, only reverting back to its true form after several painful moments. Shui is the next to approach the golem, where he sees the forms of his friends and family leaving him behind, including his parents. His sword calls out to him once the two are alone, and he comforts it until the golem resets. Draga goes next, the golem changing into a giant cave. After refusing to go in, it collapses behind her, and she returns sadly to the pews. Avayath confidently approaches afterwards, but that confidence wavers as he is confronted by the haunting recreation of an old memory, reducing the proud hero to tears. The group comforts him as the mentors leave to discuss the finals so far, with 4 more Sparks left to face the golem.
Break me down, we keep fracturing, so you'll forget your place and never find grace. Fly me away before the sloughs are paid, soon we will lose our wings within the storm. Breathe me in, take what's left of me. I lose my mind to fate, I cannot disgrace my hidden heart. Erase your belief, I will destroy what's left and run away. Get with the two, I need the shadow in this sea. Come to the page, the curtains rising soon.
So you all come back after the 10 minutes. The mentors seem to have come to a conclusion after discussing it, appearing to have decided to continue. And they move back up onto the stage and look out towards everyone. And Peter's just like, "We will continue now. Would someone please step forward?" And there is a few moments of pausing before, very reluctantly, it looks like Titus gets up and moves towards the stage.
I knew it. I knew it would be my boy.
He very slowly kind of makes his way up, this little golem looking up at him, cocks its head at Titus, and Titus just warily waves at it before backing away a little bit, and just kind of standing there. And there's a few moments of silence before just whoop, the golem vanishes. And Titus is kind of looking around in confusion, not sure exactly what's supposed to be happening or where he's supposed to be looking, before he just immediately starts clutching at his neck and coughing. Just looks like he's having a hard time breathing as he's just coughing continuously. And you can see just the barest impressions of something like grabbing his neck as he starts to like lean forward and falls to his knees. And this continues for a couple moments, and you see him kind of reaching out and trying to grab whatever's in front of him, like he looks like he's also trying to choke it, before eventually he just falls unconscious and falls on the stage. And the golem reforms and stands up in front of him and kind of looks down at him, and then looks back up towards the mentors, who just look horrified.
Yeah, Theo stood up and very worried.
And Arthur's just like, did he, and he comes over really fast and goes up to him, and he's like, "Oh, okay, he just, he fainted from anxiety, not the choking. That wasn't enough time." And he's looking at the golem and adjusting it, and the golem seems to be running away from him like a little child. And he's trying to grab it, and he picks it up and he starts adjusting the key on its back again. He's like, "What is wrong with your settings today?"
I think you just programmed it to be like this.
But you see Peter kind of come over to him and lean down and put a hand on him, and he just goes and opens his eyes again and looks up, very clearly distraught. And Peter looks down at him and is just like, "Hey, you're okay." And he just is shaking a little bit and gives him a nod. And Peter's like, "You can go ahead and sit back down. Sorry about that." And he nods again, and he goes and sits back in the pews.
Theo looks worriedly to Titus, his friend.
He's sitting over kind of on the opposite side of you in one of the pews by himself, and he's just kind of feeling his neck now, looking very pale.
Theo's standing up, and he's slowly sitting down. He's like, "Well, I guess it's okay."
And Peter looks out towards everyone and is just like, "Okay, who wants to go next?"
Sweating. Looks at Brandy.
Looks at Theo.
Both so worried.
There is a pause before Peter's like, if we aren't going to have a volunteer, then I'm going to call on someone. Theo, why don't you come up?
Oh god. Okay. He does a little jump in surprise, and he'll get up and wish me luck, Brandy.
Yeah, good luck. Pats Theo on the back.
He'll go up slowly.
I'm here for you if you need me.
You go up after Arthur seems to be done fiddling with this little golem, puts it back down. It kind of totters a little bit on its feet forward before righting itself. Looks up towards you, waves as you get up on stage.
Theo sort of wonders if he should wave back, because it seems like everyone needed to step back a little, so he does that.
You see it kind of give you a little clap at that and nod yes, you were supposed to do that.
Awkward smile.
And then you wait in front of it as it stands there. And you watch as this golem kind of starts to shake, extending upwards to your exact height. And the plates appear to become softer as hair kind of extends from the top of his head. And it takes a moment to stop forming, but when it does, you find you are standing in front of yourself. But it looks like you, but with no face, staring back.
Theo has a little startle, of anxiety, and kind of looks around, a little confused. Did it work?
As you say that, dozens of eyes suddenly open up on every patch of skin on this figure in front of you, all different colors, shapes, and sizes, as this body starts to move almost mechanically to adjust to its posture. And the creature looks around the room for a moment, seeming to take in its surroundings before focusing its gaze on you.
Oh, that's very unpleasant.
What a strange body you've all put me in.
Huh? I don't see how this pertains to a fear of mine.
Out of the corner of your eye, you actually see Estelle grab onto Peter's shoulder very tightly and staring intently at this golem as she tenses. And you see Peter kind of glance at her with concern before looking back towards Theo. And this creature is currently looking at you. It takes a step forward.
Are you the young Fate Walker?
I got a fate seed?
You did, that's very rare.
I was told, I guess.
Are you looking to change your fate?
No, not really. I guess, maybe.
It would be entertaining to watch you try.
Can't really change what's going to happen anyway, so...
Of course you can't. Your path was decided long ago.
It sure was. But, all done, right?
No, let's talk a little more. I've been waiting to meet you.
Okay. He gives an awkward smile.
I'm excited to see where you take it this time. I've already seen you play out this path millions of times.
Well, that's, funny to say, out loud with words.
You see all of the eyes kind of start to glow as it takes another step forward.
Okay, so, yeah,
Are you going to fall again, Theo?
I don't know what you mean.
Are you going to fall again?
Fall for what?
You see it kind of cock its head at you.
You aren't on that path, then?
I don't know what you're talking about. He kind of looks between Peter and Arthur and this Theo in front of him, and he's like, yeah, I really don't know what this is about. He's putting his hands up, really confused.
You see Estelle looks incredibly pale, and Peter also looks very confused. Arthur looks very interested in whatever is happening right now.
Yeah, is it broken? Because I feel like it's broken.
No, I don't think it's broken. It seems to be working just fine. I tested it this morning. And as he speaks, it takes another step forward towards you.
Theo takes a step back.
It kind of is very slowly reaching out a hand towards you.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Okay. Would you like something? Am I supposed to give something for this to end?
Not necessarily. What are you looking for in your future this time, Theo?
I don't know. Peace?
Peace.
Mm-hmm.
That's never been a result for you.
Oh. The most peaceful way that can be taken?
No. That's not for you. That's not your path.
Okay. Well, if that was the case, that's upsetting. But yeah, this is just a test, so...
Do you think you're a good person, Theo?
He cringes. I try to be.
Try to be.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to figure out how you start here and end there.
Wow, it is giving me anxiety, so I guess it's working.
Maybe we came and visited you too soon. We'll try again later.
If that's the test, Whew, that was something.
It starts to take a few steps backward, and you see those eyes slowly close one by one.
We'll be watching you. We always are. Why don't you try to make this rerun more enjoyable for us?
Cool, great test. Bye.
And it falls to the floor.
Theo cringes again.
And it takes a couple moments before that body very slowly shifts back into the golem. And you see the golem kind of shaking itself and seems to look around in confusion.
Good job, little thing. You really scared me. Thanks. And then he kind of scurries off the stage.
Can Avayath do some kind of check to try to guess anything about what that was?
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
If you would like to make checks, you can.
Sure. What would they be?
What would you roll? It's up to you.
Avayath would try religion even though he's not good at it.
Yeah, I would say probably either history, religion, arcana, any of those make sense.
I'll let you each roll something different. So Avayath can roll religion. What do you want to roll, Brandy?
I'll do history, I guess.
Okay.
Both of us fucked up. We small brains.
Yeah, with that Avayath, you don't get anything. Brandy, you feel like you've seen those eyes before.
I don't like that!
Theo scurries back to sit down next to Brandy. Like, what was that about? Am I right? Whew. Weird.
He looks very pale, but he kind of nods and is like, yeah, that... real strange.
Huh. Yeah, kind of feel like I didn't conquer anything. But, if that's the test, then I guess that's the test.
Hats, Theo.
There is a long moment of silence. You can see Estel very, quietly whispering to Peter, very strained, clearly, upset about something, and he doesn't seem to quite understand what she's talking about. But Arthur goes up to the golem and is just examining it, also seems to be confused, but more intrigued by that. And they take a few moments to reset before Peter speaks up and is just like, well, why don't we move on then to the next person? And very slowly you hear Essence get up from the back and just be like, oh, go, let's get it over with. And she moves forward and goes up onto the stage. And the golem seems to kind of shake itself, right itself a little bit before it looks up at her. And it doesn't wave. You see it actually kind of take a step back and shake a little bit. And she kind of looks down at it and frowns. It takes a couple more steps back. And she, just stands there and waits. And it backs a bit more away before the golem kind of tilts back its head. And just this, kaleidoscope of red butterflies start to pour out of it. And it appears these butterflies kind of form and start to take the shape of a humanoid with two black butterflies sitting where its eyes would be. In Essence takes a step back, kind of gripping her dagger in her hand, trying to consider if she wants to pull it out or not, and is looking at it. And she's like, what the hell? and these butterflies very quickly, in a similar fashion to Riddle, just swarm her and appear to be kind of like grabbing at her hair and clothing, and one even seems to be like trying to like make its way down her throat as she's like coughing and hacking. And she's just completely engulfed in them before a very blinding white light erupts through, and you see her standing there with just vibrant, pure white eyes as the butterflies drop dead around her, and she just kind of crushes one under her heel and looks towards Peter in exasperation. And he just kind of looks at her, like, kind of curiously, and the butterflies start to vanish. And the golem reappears, waddling away.
Yikes.
She does not look like that phased her. She's just kind of looking at this golem and frowns a little bit, looks towards Peter, and she was like, "Is that it?" And he just looks at her and he's just like, "If that's it for you, then you're done." And she just kind of shrugs and she's like, "I don't know what the big deal was." And she goes back to the back of the pews. And he looks out towards everyone. And Peter looks towards you. Brandy is just like, "You're the last one."
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I'm the last one, I guess. Alright.
Good luck. Maybe it'll not be bad.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. I've had the best of luck with this so far. Walks up very slowly.
So, Brandy, you step forward up onto the stage, and the golem kind of looks up at you, also does not wave as you come up onto the stage.
Oh. Brandy gives a small nod to it, and will take some steps back.
It nods back to you, turns around, waddles a little farther away, looks back to you, cocks its head, seems to be thinking, waddles a little farther away.
Uh-oh.
So, you see this golem seems to bend and crack as its body just starts to swell massively, forming into that of a giant mirror in front of you, where you see your reflection staring back, looking absolutely furious at you, eyes glowing red and just very bright brands glowing on it.
Don't like that.
And as you are staring into your reflection, it starts to move forward suddenly and then just burst through the mirror, shattering it. But the creature that comes through doesn't look the same as the one you saw moments before. It's now a passively pale monstrosity standing in front of you, blood soaking its horns and a warped great sword growing out of where its forearm should be, and just huffing right in front of you.
Okay.
And you see it start to move towards you, and with that giant greatsword arm, it just makes a giant swing towards you. It's going to try and hit you.
Yeah, go for it.
That's a 16.
That actually hits still, yeah.
14 slashing damage.
Ooh!
Excuse me, this seems a bit much.
Uh-oh.
Peter seems to be looking on, very wide eyes right now, kind of frozen in place. And Arthur speaks up and is just like, "It's just considered another training session. It can't kill you."
You sure?
We're positive.
Still playing pretend, huh?
It's gonna take another swing at you.
Brandy fucking looks terrified when it says that, and yeah, go for it.
That is a 17.
Yeah, sure hits.
Please stop.
That's gonna be... Damn, that's almost max damage.
Sweet.
19 slashing damage.
Uh-oh. That's bad. Give me a sec. Yeah, Brandy's bloody. That's bad. Uh-oh.
Please stop the training.
Yeah, he fucking stumbles backwards, and the creature looking at him is just like,
You can't hide forever. You've seen the way they all look at you.
Does a 28 hit you?
yeah, it sure does, Cassie.
12 slashing damage.
Okay. Yeah, and as it cuts into him, he's like,
You saw the fear on Shui's face. You saw the disappointment in Theo's eyes. Avayath is right. You're just a monster.
Hey. Can Brandy do something?
You can, yeah.
He's about to fucking panic and cast Gravity Sinkhole to pull this
Okay,
motherfucker away. It needs to make a con save.
What is your save?
It's probably fucking ridiculous. I made this goddamn character sheet.
You sure did. Let me double check, though. Oh my fucking god. Hold on. I can't even see this number. Fucking shit. Okay, I don't think he can fail this.
Probably not.
Yeah, that's a 23.
Yeah, no, that's not. He's gonna take half damage. Ooh. He's gonna take fucking 10 force damage. As also, if any pews and stuff are not, or any items in the room are not secured to the floor, and then within 20 feet of the sphere, they're getting pulled towards it.
She was like, what?
No.
Okay, what's his damage?
Yeah, it was 10 damage.
10, gotcha. Does not look like that did jack shit.
Yeah, it sure doesn't.
It's gonna make another swing at you.
Okay.
Please stop the training!
Fucking shit! Okay.
Natural 20? What'd you get?
Natural 20.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no! Uh-oh! You're about to see some fuck shit.
You're never gonna change.
You see it starts to move forward, and it makes a very big, massive swing towards Brandy right at his head. And you see just Brandy's head for a split second. Just, you can see that this sword just completely goes through it. It starts to kind of go off of his shoulders at that. But Peter seems to break out of whatever he was in and just immediately rushes forward. And for a split second, the golem starts to shift and change into something else while Peter is in front of it, before Peter just throws his sword directly into its head, and this golem kind of gets tossed backwards and is just skewered into the wall, and it kind of flickers for a moment before it vanishes. And as it does so, Brandy, you are back to full health.
Theo absolutely ran up as that shit was going down.
Anyone watching can make a perception check, though.
Okay, Theo's worried about Brandy. He doesn't give a shit.
You don't have to, yeah.
Yeah, he just runs to Brandy's side and is just like, Brandy, are you okay? Are you okay?
He hits the ground and is fucking wheezing and is just
without asking, Theo's probably expending healing slots on this fool. Even though he looks fine now, Theo's scrambling to do that.
Is that perception for you, Avayath?
Yes.
15.
Okay, so you both see it then. You see when Peter stood in front of it for a moment, just this towering figure standing in front of Brandy and him. Tails wrapping around its limbs and spikes coming out of its back with 4 ginormous horns out of its head. And that only flashed for a second before Peter's sword went right into that golem.
Well, that just raises more questions. That doesn't answer anything.
Theo just kind of kneeling next to Brandy, basically he probably is holding him now, or he's going to try.
Oh, he's fucking shaking profusely. His whole body is fucking trembling right now.
Is he on the ground?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He was knocked on his ass from that for sure.
Yeah, okay. Theo's basically doing the same hug he did with Shui, but more desperate. Are you okay? It's fine. It's okay now. I mean, the training's over. And you're okay, right? He definitely expended some healing slots. Let me just roll that real quick. 10 plus 2, 12. Okay, so Brandy gets 12 hit points back as Theo's hugging his head.
He's already at full, but that's very nice.
Well, look, Theo was gonna do.
I know. Yeah, he's still fucking horrified, staring off to where the golem still is.
It's gone. Peter destroyed it. So it flickered out of existence.
Cool, yeah. Well, where it was is trembling hand at neck.
You see Peter kind of turn towards Arthur and just be like, "What is wrong with your machine?" And Arthur is just like, it's just all psychological damage. It wouldn't actually kill him or anything. And Peter's just kind of looking towards Brandy and it's just like, that looked like it almost did.
I'm fine, don't worry about it. I'm fine.
It's okay. You're okay now.
Peter just speaks up towards all of you and is like, all of you go leave, take some time, take as much time as you want. We'll finish finals later. We need to have a talk. And he's looking at the other mentors and they're all kind of just very solemnly looking at each other. But Peter is very obviously squarely looking at Arthur when he says that.
Yeah.
Come on, Brandy.
Arthur just nods, just like, of course, we can have a talk. And they all start to move out of the entrance of the church.
Let's go. Let's get out of here.
Takes him like a significant amount of time, but like eventually like can steady himself.
Theo, while shaking, practically drags Brandy out of there because he's like, that training was all very. Let's just get out of here.
Just training.
Oh.
It's just.
Yeah, it's okay now. It's okay.
Shui, I would say, he didn't really have words. I think he was just worried. It was probably just stunned, like at the monstrosity that was attacked, like just really attacked, just going at Brandy. When it was like, Shui's afraid of you. She was like, no. But he, kind of feels guilty because I think he realizes that he does or did fear Brandy a little bit. Made him feel bad.
Brandy must have imagined the disappointment in Theo's eyes because that never existed.
I think right now he's probably standing with Avayath, just kind of looking at Brandy and Theo on stage, and kind of like the mentor is like, oh, yeah, what do? And as they leave, Shui will also leave.
Yeah, the other sparks seem to be pretty shaken up, except for Essence, who looks curious about that whole thing, but doesn't really say much.
Yeah.
Avayath just kind of sits there for a while, also kind of shaken by that. Or more specifically, what he saw that no one else saw. And then he takes a while to leave.
As you're leaving, you hear Essence kind of speak up and say, seems your group thinks there's a lot of monsters.
What? He was like spaced out.
Your group.
Oh, they've seen a lot of monsters. Well, they are adventurers after all.
Cocks her head at you.
What? Very uncharacteristically, like, not as confident in himself.
She just kind of gives you a small smile and is just like, nothing, go ahead.
She was including you in that seen a lot of monsters shit.
Well, yes, your bright smile's always reassuring.
Frowns.
And he leaves. Oh. Yeah, and he goes confused as to why she frowned after he pointed out that he appreciated her smile.
So I don't actually know where Theo would have dragged Brandy off to, but he is basically hooked onto him. He's very worried. Shaken up as well.
Yeah, is continuously shaking. Fucking.
We can say cabin for sake of ease. You guys went back to the cabin.
Everybody
Continuously
went back to
shaking. Fucking. He looks like he's gone from panic and is in full blown like fucking like shock mode, like fucking 1,000-yard stare, like just out of it now, as he continues to like fucking tremble.
Okay, I guess at that, Theo probably would have been rambling pretty much the whole way of like, it's okay, it's over now, and like as Brandy like basically went silent, he probably would have guided him to like sit on his bed and just kind of maybe I don't know, comfort him, give him another hug. Theo, I guess he'll just continue to comfort Brandy as he's gone into shock. Just kind of make sure he's okay. I mean, you know.
He's not, but it's okay.
I know, but physically.
I know, yeah. Physically, he's fine.
You hear a knock at the door.
Brandy flinches.
Theo does not answer. He just continues to hug Brandy.
Avayath slowly opens the door.
Okay, so you open the door. You see Arthur standing on the other side.
Hello, Arthur.
Hello, I'm just coming to check in with everyone to apologize for that.
Your settings were too high or something. Please test whatever your thing was better next time.
I apologize. We did do extensive testing, and I thought it was fine, but you can only test it on the people you know.
Yes, but in that last test, it went way too hard.
I agree. We decided that we will not be using the astral golem anymore for any training.
Good.
Hold on. I'm not sure if this was actually Arthur's fault. What I saw was unusual, I think the astral golem may have been possessed or something.
It's fully functional. I just received it from the astral plane. There's nothing wrong with it.
Are you sure?
What did you see?
Can it show people things that they've never seen before?
No, it can't do that.
Then I'm not sure. I'm not sure why it showed the Abergrim during Brandy's training.
You see Arthur tense.
Yeah, Brandy fucking looks towards Avayath.
Peter was the one who stepped in to help, so that makes sense.
So it worked on Peter.
Peter's usually the one that we've tested it on before to make sure its settings aren't too high, yes?
I see. Well, I suppose it's a relief that it's not possessed or anything.
I saw something strange. What was that about? A bunch of eyes on me, I guess?
Sometimes it's a little more abstract in what it takes the form of.
Well, it didn't make much sense. I conquered nothing.
He looks like he's about to say something, and then he stops.
And he's just like, well, the training is different for everyone, and some people have success and some don't.
Okay, well, thank you for your apology.
I really am sorry. I did not expect this. I thought we tested it on the people who, if they could go against it, it wouldn't be an issue. I am sorry.
Test it so it doesn't hurt the people so badly next time.
Again, we won't use it again.
Right.
It was my fault. I'm sorry.
No.
It was not your fault, no. This was an error, programming error on my part. I will try to make something else that's a little less,
I should have put it down faster. I'm sorry.
Theo hugs Brandy tighter. He's like, no. It's fine. You did your best.
Yeah, I should have acted faster.
You did fine.
Sorry for disappointing you.
You didn't disappoint me.
We were going to continue Libris's training tonight. In a few hours, we'll check on you again. Hers is easy, it's simple. It shouldn't take more than an hour, and then we'll be done. We'll be done with the training. We'll move on.
I'm fine. I'll be fine. I'm good. Don't worry about it. I'm fine.
Theo just holds Brandy tighter.
And Arthur slowly starts to back up.
Again, very sorry. We'll see you all later tonight.
Yeah, I don't have to be. It was my fault. It's fine.
No, it wasn't.
It's no one's fault. Your apology is accepted, Arthur. Accidents happen.
Easy for you to say.
Arthur's looking at Theo right now and seems very sad in particular that you are upset about this. But he nods and he's like, you don't have to forgive me. It would be wrong to not say anything, even if you don't accept what I have to say.
I appreciate your coming here to say so. I don't really have the power to forgive you per se, but, thanks for coming. But, yeah, he just hugs Brandy again, tighter.
I would like to remain on good terms with all of you. I don't want you all to think badly of me or anything. I am the mentor, I am the head of this establishment, and I'm taking what you have said to heart, and we are no longer doing that training anymore. I will cut it out and we will remove it. We are trying to make things better, so if it was an experience that was intolerable, I will stop doing it.
You're fine. I deserved it. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
No, Brandy! You didn't deserve it.
Flinches when you shout at him.
You didn't deserve it. You didn't deserve that. Don't say that.
I will leave now. I will give you all time to recover. I just wanted to make it clear that if there are situations like that with other mentors too, where you feel uncomfortable or pressured into something, then we can readjust and change it. He seems very nervous as he's talking.
It's I'm not mad at you, Mr. Arthur, just the situation.
And that is perfectly understandable. And again, I apologize. I will stop apologizing now, though. I will leave. And he starts to back away.
Theo pretty much pets Brandy's head as in comfort.
And Arthur backs out and is just like, you all have at least 8 hours before Libris's final training, so I will come collect you, or Wynn will come collect you then. If anyone needs to talk to a mentor or me, please feel free to. We are always here to help and assist. Goodbye. And he closes the door.
Theo just continues to comfort Brandy.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. He basically said because this would probably go on for a little while, he basically would just probably say stuff like, it's okay, it wasn't your fault, or like, you did your best, it was too much for anyone. So, like, just stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Brandy, that this happened to you. And I guess he doesn't have an instrument. He would be like, Shui, you want to try teaching me a little on how to play music now while we wait?
Shui was, I think, silent during that whole thing. Because like I said, he kind of feels guilty for feeling afraid of Brandy and being fucking called out.
Welcome to Ripley getting to call you all out on your bullshit, except for Theo, because I had nothing. Disappointed was the wrong word, but it's fine.
The monster's just like, Theo's pretty cute, huh?
He probably, I don't think he knows what to say to Brandy, because he was going to just be like, sorry, then,
my bad.
Sorry for being afraid of you, you know what I mean? Like, he's gonna be quiet. But yeah, when Avayath says that, he kind of perks up a bit. And he's like, okay, sure.
We can try playing some soothing music to lighten the mood a bit. I'm not good at it, but I'll try.
Shui will hand him a lute or something. A lyre.
I don't know what you roll when you're not proficient in it.
Just roll straight performance, I think.
Performance at disadvantage?
We can do disadvantage since you haven't played it before.
12. Very mediocre.
But not horrible for never playing before.
Yeah, not bad.
Pretty good for never playing the fucking instrument. You just pick up and like, oh, I get it. Dink to dink to dink. Hot cross buns.
I'll say Shui kind of accompanies Avayath's playing with his flute.
Theo continues to pet Brandy basically through his hair and just be like, I'm not disappointed in you. I'll never be disappointed in you. It's okay.
He frowns particularly when he says that, for sure. But at some point he would actually probably very suddenly stand up.
Brandy?
I'm gonna go for a walk. I'll be back.
I'll be here if you need me.
Thanks. I'll see y'all later.
And, well, leave and go for a walk.
I think when he stood up suddenly, that probably interrupted Shui.
Can it... I like to imagine the sound effect of doing.
Music just very suddenly stops.
Yeah. When Brandy leaves, Theo probably will just kind of scoot back to the wall and kind of hold his knees and idly listen to the attempt at music. But yeah, he doesn't really move from Brandy's bed.
So, Brandy, as you are kind of walking around outside and doing a little walk around for a while, you eventually hear footsteps kind of behind you.
Fear looks behind.
When you look around, like a very startled Estel looks at you.
Hello.
Hi.
Sorry, I saw you pacing. Wanted to come check on you.
I'm fine. Thank you.
She seems like she's about to say something and then kind of stops herself and thinks for a moment.
That was too much.
No, it wasn't.
It was. I know we sent Arthur out to apologize, but it was still too much. For any of you.
I'd much rather it have happened to me than anybody else. It's fine.
That is unkind to yourself.
Well, you don't know the kind of unkindness I've put on others. It's the least I deserve.
Unkindness to others.
I ain't a good person, and I never have been. That, I mean, was a pretty literal reflection.
She kind of looks you up and down and is just like,
Didn't look anything like you.
Well, I guess you weren't the one looking in the mirror.
People tend to see the worst in themselves.
Yeah. Well, for me, sure ain't wrong.
I'm trying to see the best in you.
So am I. And I'm finding very little very little good in there.
It doesn't seem like you were dealt a strong hand.
Tenses at that.
It doesn't matter what I was dealt.
I feel like you think it was a mistake, me bringing you here.
I just don't think... There's no way that I'm a chosen one. And this whole idea of protecting folks is very nice, but again, I don't need protecting.
It's more than just protecting, it's teaching you. It's supposed to be teaching you how to do this. If this...
She seems like she's struggling to try and find words right now.
If this is something that you end up having one day, and you feel like you aren't a good person, then it should be our job to change that.
The only thing I could ask is if it does fall on me, and I'm still as terrible as I am today, that y'all are gonna do the right thing and put me down.
I will not.
Well, I hope for your sake that I can't hurt anybody at that point then.
Mia, starts to walk off.
She lets you.
Anything else you guys want to do before we continue?
Brandy just, finds a spot, does similar things to what he did before, doing the disguise self to look human occasionally, and at one point, hesitantly summons Sword and just gives it a long look over for a while before eventually would make his way back to the cabin.
Theo probably at some point, eventually, through the music, he kind of drowns it out and he's probably just crying there, but not loudly, just kind of to himself.
I don't think Avayath would keep playing music.
He's like, play through the pain. Good vibes here.
Play louder. Just muffle out the
Hit me with another Jimmy Buffett.
cheer up, Theo, cheer up! And, like, starts playing music in Theo's face.
This one's Margaritaville.
Oh my god.
Plays this so loud Theo can't ignore. Nah. Yeah, no, I have to definitely stop at that. But I don't think he'd say anything, because he doesn't have much to say. Just sit next to Theo, pat him on the back.
He kind of flinches a little, but tentatively gives like a thankful smile, but it doesn't last very long, and he just kind of looks back, because he was like scooted up to the wall basically, and was hugging his knees up to himself.
Yeah. Avayath will just sit in silence. Doesn't really know what to say to Shui.
Shui right now is I think he's on his bed. I think he's like probably sitting like cross-legged, holding his sword like on his lap, and he has his eyes closed, and he's just trying to connect with his blade, and looking at Theo and stuff with Brandy, and stuff with his own or with everybody else's tests with the astral golem. He's probably thinking to his sword, it's like, we can't be afraid anymore.
Does not answer you at that.
But that is what Shui's thinking right now, because he really didn't mean what he said earlier, where he was like, he wants to be someone who can be depended on, because it seems like a lot of the times he needs consoling and whatnot, which is fine and all, but he wants to be someone people can feel fine. I feel like everything's gonna be okay. I think right now he's probably just resting until it's time for Libris's training.
After a while of silence, and after he's calmed down and stuff, he'll probably glance at Avayath for a second, and he's like, thank you for sitting with me.
Of course. It's the least I could do.
Just, thanks. It is appreciated, so.
Well, I wouldn't be a very good chosen one if I didn't care.
Right.
I'm here crying out for you, so you'll find me at last and wipe away our past. Even now, falling towards something beyond this new script. The show starts without stars. I'm here crying out for you, so you'll find me at last.